Yet God hadn't done this. Even when David, after he triumphantly overcame all that God allowed to befall him, and he's sitting in his house of cedar with his feet up in the air, and he's kicking back, and he got his prophet. And I just can't let this go, because every time I think back to David and this particular story, it speaks volumes to what he learned and the wisdom that he gained from his trials and his tribulations. See, most folks, when they come through stuff like that, they're affected by it for a season, and then they default back to who they really are. But David didn't do that. David owned every leg of his journey, and he remembered while he was in his house of cedar how far God had brought him, and he was indebted. He said, what am I doing sitting up in here? Yeah, I'm wise enough to know what matters in life now, because God allowed me to see it. He granted me the wisdom through experience. He walked me through treacherous environments. He walked me through hard places. He walked me through rocky mountains and deep valleys alone. Just me and him. So now I'm in my house of cedar. I don't need a bunch of men and women around me. I need what I wish I had during the time that I was in that valley. Who did he have? He had Nathan the prophet by his side. He says, I know I got a relationship with God, but I'm in my kickback era. The winds are blowing, and they're cool. The sun is shining. I don't need to constantly berate God with my problems, but I still want to stay in alignment. I want to manage this kingdom that God gave me properly. I'm not about to thwart anything, because I never asked for this kingdom. I don't even care. I care about it because God bestowed it to me, and I will do everything I can to honor it. But I never sought this. And my main goal is to stay in alignment with God. So in honoring this gift God gave me and managing his sheep, I need a prophet. And that's who he had amongst him. Moses is and the children are in a similar situation. God is saying, I need you to build me I would like to see if you want to build me a tabernacle where I can come and commune with you. Nobody came to God like David to say, God, I'll build you a house. God came and said, I'd like to see if you would like to do such things, because I got this in mind for a greater good for all of you. Yet David, after coming through all he went through, is kicked back in his house of cedar. He doesn't have an enemy. Everybody is his friend now. And he's saying, look at God. He's saying, this is not promised to me. I've seen the reality of life and death. I'm not about to get caught up in this. I've realized what matters. And what matters most is my relationship with God. All this other stuff it could come and go. I can't take none of this with me. But my relationship, my spiritual relationships, I can take with me wherever I go. And those are what I invest my time into. And he's saying to Nathan, see if it's okay with God that I build him a tabernacle. Because I'm up in here in this house of cedar, and the Ark of the Covenant is surrounded by tents in the desert. That's character. You can't buy that, friend. These are things. See, some things that line up and that form a body of a person, can buy courage, dedication, not a leader that just leads from a high place and says, okay, go over here and do that, and hopefully that'll work. No, that he's with you. You respect him because he's down in there with you. Your life depends on him. His life depends on you. When he says we're going to go in here courageously and triumphantly, it means that we are going in here. I'm with you. You got the left side, I got the right. Abiathar and David. You think ahead. You bring the ephod. I bring the anointing. We good. I don't have to tell you to bring the ephod. If you see it, you know, okay, let me grab that. Oh my goodness. I'm trying not to get so emotionally in it, because I know sometimes it turns people off, and I don't want to. I'm working on that. Nonetheless, God is offering the children an option. See, before this, it wasn't really, if I look at the Old Testament, I don't really see anywhere where God offers the children an option at the level of what I'm seeing here. God is saying, I'm not going to command them to build this tabernacle for me. I'm going to offer it to them and see if they're willing. And Moses tells the children exactly what God tells Moses. In chapter 36, verse 3, and they received of Moses all the offering which the children of Israel had brought for the work of the service of the sanctuary to make it withal. And they brought yet unto him free offerings every morning. They came forward every morning, y'all, with gifts. Not gifts with clauses to them. Just gifts. And it seems to be that they got into a rhythmic kind of dance with the gifts. It became a rhythm amongst all of them. They were excited, had to be, for all of them to bring these gifts the way that they were bringing them. And if you've ever offered your gifts up, you know what that rhythm is like. Once you get in that rhythm, it's hard to break it. Your mind begins to forecast out after you've created one gift, whether you've delivered it or not. Maybe it's at night and you're not going to deliver it until the morning. Many of you on social media forecast out your gifts. You're in a constant cycle of creating gifts. And then once you deliver one gift, now your mind is on, what am I going to do for another one? It's just a cycle. This is what these children were in. All of them. Every morning they would come with these gifts. Verse 6, and Moses gave commandment, and they caused it to be proclaimed throughout the camp, saying, let neither man nor woman make any more for the offering of the sanctuary. So the people were restrained from bringing, for the stuff they had was sufficient for all the work to make, and too much. They brought too much. They had gotten into such a rhythm that the system, the facility, couldn't sustain all that they brought. They broke the internet. You could think of it as that. They came with too much. And when I tell you, when you look at the gifts that they brought, these were masters. These weren't just any kind of gifts. Okay, let me write a note. You're loved, gift. Keep going, gift. And I'm speaking to myself because I drop those things every day. It wasn't that. These were thought out gifts. These were gifts that you really need to put a lot of attention into. You got to have a level of mastery to create these gifts. Those that created these gifts in whatever capacity, whether it's candlestick making, whether it's candle base making, whether it's metal crafting, whether it's metallurgy, whether it's embroidery, whether it's in dyeing, using dyes, whether it's in apothecary and dealing with oils, whether it's in making linen and working with animal skins. These were masters. These weren't just, I don't want to say low level, but these weren't just your average gifts, y'all. And they all worked together and created them willingly for free. And many of us, we offer our gifts up every single day as well, in one form or another. In one form or another. Yet, a lot of times, there are some of us that don't wish to come forward and offer our gifts up because we don't feel worthy. We feel like some things we've done in our life, we condemn one another. We condemn ourselves and one another for them. Yet these children, once they got the word from Moses that God wanted them to do such things and to see if they were even willing to do it. Whether they felt one out of the group or two out of the group or five out of the group or the whole group of them felt worthy or not, they allowed the condemnation that they may have felt of themselves or their situations to be overridden by the love, y'all. The love overrode it. And they offered gifts regardless. And this is the part. Them offering their gifts washed away the condemnation that imprisoned them. Them working their gifts in honor of God